I'm here in Fort Worth, Texas. Behind me is Special K. Over there is Night Mission. And I'm here with Lauren and Frederick and Christian from France. These are the young men that are restoring an A-26 in France that you may have seen pictures. We've also got guys from Enid, Oklahoma. We've got, I don't know where they went. There's Gary from Enid. Zach and Sam are wandering around here somewhere. Steve Swift, Patrick Mahaffey are doing engine work on Night Mission. They're cleaning filters. They're trying to get ready to fly this airplane in the next few weeks, I understand. Let me walk over here. I'll show you what's been going on with Special K. Of course, I was just here a few weeks ago looking at this, but since then, looks like they're getting their landing gear attachment trunnions in here. That's great. Look at this. Look at this work that Patrick's been doing up in here. Just a lot of work. So they're getting closer to putting the landing gear on this and being able to turn this airplane around to get the engine and propellers off of it. So it'll be great. They still have structural work to do on the belly of the airplane. The landing gear is ready to go. So I'll wander around some more and check back with you in a few minutes. Well, today was kind of a meet and greet, shake hands, talk, go over to the next guy, do some talking. Met a lot of people, learned a lot of stuff. It was fun. But right now, hanging out with the guys from Hollywood Bomber. They're making great progress. They're doing stuff under the wing and up in the fuselage, and it's been a good day. Cold. We had thunderstorms last night. Really loud and raining, but it's been a good day. So I'll see you back in the hangar in Provo. All right, I got back from Texas. Wasn't here Wednesday. I got a kind of a head cold going on from my grandson. Thank you, grandson. I'm here at the hangar. Jan and I have been walking around the airplane. He's been letting me know what's been going on. Let me tell you some stuff. Jan's been working on these window frames. And in last week's video, I told you we had trouble getting nut plates. Well, I found a deal. There's 100 of them that we got for pennies on the dollar compared to everywhere else. So we now have enough nut plates to do our window frames. So we'll get that done. Also, while I was gone, Jan hasn't been idle. Remember last week, we were talking about the lines that give all the information to the instruments and the annunciators in the airplane. So now the left side is all qualified. So Bob and John may be here today. They should be. It's Friday. And don't know if they want to requalify these senders or if it'll work off of the information. So what they were doing when I was talking about analog and digital, what they were doing, we'd set up get a pressure on a gauge, and then they would read the resistance that these senders were given, so that he could then compile all that and write the software for the enunciator to know what to tell us when. So that's what they've been doing. A couple of questions I had over the weekend. Let me turn this camera around. So I had a suggestion from one of our viewers that we put a turret on the top. That would be awesome. And we have a turret shell and a slew ring. We don't have a mantlet for it or anything inside. The problem is that when Onmark modified this airplane, they made a whole new top skin. That structure to support a turret is no longer there. So we'd have to redo the whole fuselage in order to put a turret up there. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but the focus right now is to get this aircraft airworthy and get it back in the air. And one other thing that I was asked about. So we were talking about the length of the canopies, okay? One thing I hadn't thought about, and while I was in Texas at the A26 gathering, which the reason, one of the drivers for the length of the canopy, let me turn this camera around. Here's our little model. Now, pretend that that's painted silver right there, because that would have been the original framing for the aircraft. In the original configuration, the A26 did not have clamshell doors like we have. This side was just a hard mount framed window. This side flipped up like that for ingress into the cockpit. Nobody liked it. Visibility was terrible. So they quickly came up with a modification to have the clamshell doors. Well, you've already got all of this structure, and there was no sense reinventing the wheel. So they made the clamshell doors so that they would open using the original airframe. And it still had all of the stuff behind the pilot seat, and there was access into the cockpit through the Bombay doors. I wouldn't have wanted to climb from the gunner's position in the greenhouse over the Bombay doors up to the cockpit. Wouldn't want to do that. It would have been really tight going through the bombs, but it may have been doable, but probably not in practice. So those were the main drivers behind the different lengths in the canopies. So John is here. He delivered jacks to my house yesterday. Going to try to get those painted PDQ and get them down here and get them assembled. We're still looking for 28-volt instruments for the co-pilot side. Haven't settled on exactly the roadmap to our comm equipment. Try to work through that today. And otherwise, I'm just going to kind of go to work and see where the path leads me. So I'll get back with you. So I'm here in my garage, and I'm on the hunt. It's time to get these cleaned up for paint. The cylinders over there, which are huge, by the way, they're rated at 10,000 pounds piece, but they're overhauled and the pumps are overhauled. Well, what I'm doing is taking these and getting the paint off of them. I've already got these. What I've been doing is taking them apart, sticking them in my lathe. Got a vacuum going, some sandpaper, and that's the easiest way I can see to do it. So stand by. Okay, this seems to be working pretty good. Let me show you. So I've got this stuff done what I can do in the lathe. I'm not going to mess with the casters. That makes no sense. And I'll have to touch up the ends of these with, if I can put them in the sandblast cabinet, maybe I'll do that and get them so that they're rust free. So still got all that to do, but I'm working it. This is my setup. I do one end. This isn't exactly what I would like to do, but it's what I can do. This 3-jaw chuck, I can't go any further back in here to catch the tube. So this seems to be working okay. Dust is pretty well collected by my vacuum. Yeah, there's stuff here, but it's sucking it in pretty good. So let me show you. Well, it's the end of the day. Went in and had some dinner and watched a little TV, but wanted to show you what I accomplished. So this is the stuff that it still needs some tuning up. Got to get the ends cleaned up. This was the next batch to go into the lathe to get as much crap off of it as I can. All of that stuff over there, the cylinders, the bases, and these pumps, probably all going to be grunt work on the ground. But what I need, and I'm hoping tomorrow a buddy of mine will bring over a torch and we can heat these segments up and get them apart. This works pretty well for the lathe lengthwise. And yeah. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I'll continue on this journey, and hopefully Monday we'll start painting. Okay, it's kind of been a short day, just trying to catch up on what's been going on in the hangar. John's been polishing the airplane. Bob's been wiring the airplane. We did get a donation. We got a couple of gallons of paint to paint our jack, and I might have some volunteers next week to paint the jack. So we'll see. Many hands make for light work. Anyway, I know this has been a kind of a not very well put together video, but it's been bouncing all over the place. But if you found any value in this, I'd really appreciate it if you wouldn't mind hitting the subscribe button and sharing it out and liking our videos. And if you're in a position to do so, we're still looking for some funds to get our radios. And I thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.